Hello YouTubers, this is Rail Rocket Ricky here with part 1 of my 2-part review of Thunderbirds Versus The Hood. And before you ask, why am I doing a 2-part review? Well, as this audiobook consists of 2 separate stories on 2 discs, it makes sense to break it down into a 2-part review. Anyway, disc 1, entitled Thunderbirds, The Vanishing Ray, which, adapted by Ben Page, goes along these lines. When Lady Penelope gets a strange new invention in the post, evil nemesis the Hood and MI5 soon come calling. And now it is up to her ladyship and the stalwart Parker to solve the mystery of the Vanishing Ray. Well, the Vanishing Ray is certainly more of a Thunderbird story compared to the original Lady Penelope comic strip. Very similar to Thunderbirds 1965, aka the 50th anniversary episodes. Presumably set before the events of Terror from the Stars, the story kicks off with an entirely new scene in which Brains, under his alias of Mr. Hackenbacker, meets up with an MI5 agent by the name of Steele, only for the Hood, disguised as a tourist, tries to steal the top secret device inside Brains' package. Despite rather hastily sending the package successfully to a postman, Brains gets captured by the Hood and taken to his London hideout, presumably somewhere in the depths of the disused London Underground system. Lady Penelope receives the package, which reveals a vanishing ray disguised as a torch. However, the Hood and MI5 are both quite interested about this vanishing ray and are quite determined to get it off Lady Penelope's hands. Interestingly, MI5 agent Steele and the Hood, the latter weirdly not in a disguise, both use the same trick by posing as book salesmen. However, they both get foiled by Penelope and Parker. And talking of Parker, there are several references to Vault of Death in this story, as Penelope describes him as being light-fingered, like fingered Fred. MI5 agent Steele calls him nosy, and Parker even mentions the cook Lil, or Lillian, by her full name. Regarding Crichton Ward Mansion itself, it is without question a beautiful stately home. However, it has more secret devices within its walls, from an underfloor safe concealed under a skirting board to a switch on a chair to release the chandelier. Furthermore, the gates to the mansion are electrified and even the outer walls have claws. Even Lady Penelope herself has a secret device on the heel of her right shoe which sets Fab 1 into driverless mode. We are only seeing driverless cars as transport of the future here and now in the early 2020s. But that's really forward thinking back then. Regarding the characters, Lady Penelope and Parker are just the perfect team, beautifully voiced by Genevieve Gaunt and John Coleshaw, respectively. In fact, John Coleshaw's voice, or should I say impression, of Parker is absolutely spot on. You can't even tell it isn't David Graham voicing his iconic character. Genevieve Gaunt also voices one line for Cop 1 in an Essex accent. Apologies to Countdown's Rachel Riley. Joe Jameson, who voiced the postman, interestingly based his voice on his own postman, incredibly called Joe Jamieson. I wonder where he got that idea from. Wayne Forrester, the voice of Brains, also voices the MI5 chief, taking inspiration from M as depicted in the 1960s James Bond films. Last but not least, Justin T. Lee, who voices the Hood, as he lives in Canada, he had to get up very early in the morning to voice his character. Bless him. As for the Hood, he had yet another car crash. He must be an absolute pain in the arse for insurance companies. And to conclude this report, Thunderbirds The Vanishing Ray is a brilliant Lady Penelope story with so much for Penelope and Parker to deal with. Well, that's part 1 of my review, and I'll see you in part 2. This is Rail Rocket Ricky signing off. FAB.